afternoon campers, wet outside, bit miserable, waist whittling today. So anything when you're rotating or going side to side in this sagittal plane, great for your waist. So draw up as if you're stopping yourself having a wee, draw in like you're tightening the belt, soften the knees, squeeze the bum under, and start with a little side to side move. So the fingers just by the outside of the thighs. Start small, you know me, small, little and often, build up. If that's okay, you can either take a little bit longer doing that movement or start to bring those elbows up so we increase the range of movement. So this side to side move, if you imagine your front of your body and your back of the body between two sheets of glass, so you're going directly to the side rather than any extension or flexion. And then let's do our invisible hula hoop. So I like my invisible hula hoop just to ease out my back. When I've been sitting down all day, when it's a writing day, the back sort of gets a bit stuck for me. Partly that's due for my age, but to be honest, the back doesn't like staying still unless it's resting. So if you're in bed, I mean, if you've ever watched one of those videos, you're not in one position all night. You're sort of tossing and turning. Even if you've got a good night's sleep, you're not in one position. If you're sitting, however, watching the telly, you know, it's one of those things when you're set. So let's have a little bit of rotation. So bring the feet shoulder width apart, soften the knees, again, that sensation of Kardashian corset. So it's interesting, those waist trainers I'm very anti. It's okay if you're going out for a night and you're desperate to wear your Spanx and your body contouring. I'm not against that. I've had people come to my class with full-on corsets, and I just explain, one, it's not good for you breathing-wise because you can't take a full breath because the corsets are around this area here, your diaphragm. And you can't take a proper inhale. You think of the Victorian ladies in their corsets who are often fainting because they can't get oxygen in. There's nowhere for your internal organs to go. Also, when you're yoga breathing and breathing properly, your belly goes out. It's supposed to go out. So if you then want to add a little bit of a swing into the rotation. So this isn't just a waist whittler. Once we're bringing the arms into it, obviously you're working your shoulders, you might sort of feel these areas here. So these are the latimus dorsi. There's a written test after this session. So your lats, this bit down the back of the shoulders, the brass ridge area. So my skin, my tone is good for my age, because I'm over 60. If you want to tone up at any age, you can tone up the muscles underneath the skin. Your skin's still not going to look exactly like a 20-year-old, so have realistic expectations. Even more so for the waist now, for the lungs, anything with the arms overhead. So if this is too much, you come back to that side-to-side move. So a bigger range of movement with the arms above the head. So for a start, I like to do it with the elbows bent. And then, if that's okay, let's take that to a sort of start. Obviously, if you're working more aerobically, you can warm up and take it even higher, perhaps with a little hop side to side. So now we're working the whole body, we're burning fat, but we're focusing on those waist movements. Bring it back to a smaller level if there's anything that doesn't feel right. You can take it into your full star jump, yeah? Soft landings when you land with the knees slightly out. And then one of the moves I like to do is my chair plane. So my heels are pushed into the ground, my pelvic floor slightly lifted, my chest is lifted, my arms are hanging from those shoulders, small range of movement. So if I stand and show you the opposite direction, my arms are quite long. So my arms are coming round and they're sort of gently hitting, massaging the area of the back where your adrenals are. So this is quite a comforting move. I learned it in one of the Tai Chi classes. It's still a little rotation, a gentler variation for your waist. So, if that was all right, you can always get weights and add those to these moves. So when you're using weights, I say small, then progress a little bit bigger. So you can start with the arms long side to side, number of repetitions up to you. Come back to it, it's always better to do a little bit less and then add a little bit more. And if you want to work a bit harder, arm straight above the head. When you do this, be very careful of your light fittings. I had somebody in one of my classes who just went bang and I heard a clatter and he'd hit his light fitting. So this, knees bent, pelvic floor engaged, squeeze the bum. Only go as far up as you can. If you have any shoulder issues, perhaps don't do it with a weight or keep the elbows soft. Bigger range of movement. If you want to make it more dynamic, step to the side. Personally, with weights, I like to keep the arm going straight up rather than overhead, by which I mean more ballet. So I keep it to big range of movements without weights, smaller, more controlled range of movements with weights. Lovely. So anything like that, anything when you're going side to side, when you're twisting round, perhaps you add in oldie twist move as well. So arms down easy, arms shoulder height a little bit harder, and side to side even harder. If there is any hint of extra tightness here, so your obliques come round where my fingers are, it's fingertip control. If you remember those adverts, fingertip control adverts, that's what your obliques look like, a bit like coming round there. And you're working this mid-back section as well. So just ease it out, you know, sort of high knees will stretch the back out, hugging the imaginary tree will stretch the back out, but always start small, particularly with rotational movements. You can do it seated, you can do little rotational side-to-side moves seated, that's a little bit easier. But you are whittling your waist. If you're a chap, you tend to get that David Beckham V shape. If you're a woman, you tend to get that sort of hourglass figure as well. So enjoy yourself, be safe, whittle your waist on a day where it's horrible outside and you might as well be doing something positive. See you next time.